All right, everyone, just give me one moment while I'll set us up. All right, everyone, welcome to the 187 report. Today is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's keep it a Friday. Let's not try to turn it into a Monday morning. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. You need to behave as though you are in a courtroom. That means you must be dressed appropriately. That means you're not allowed to lay in your bed, cook food, do laundry, wear shades, wear caps. The list is not exhaustive that I'm giving you. However, if you behave inappropriately on this Zoom, your Zoom privileges will be revoked and you will be required to appear in court. To all the attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small you think the plea bargain agreement is, you'll need to put it into the chat box to the state, and the state will need to know your client's email address if your client is on bond. To all the inmates, you're not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you will be sent back to your cell. To everyone on Zoom, you're not to use this as a dating service. This is not The Bachelor. This is not The Bachelorette. I know you probably asked, why am I saying this? Because it has happened before. To everyone who's wearing a mask, if you're going to wear a mask, you need to wear it appropriately. That means it should be over your mouth and nose, Mr. Montoya, because that mask is designed to protect others, not so much yourself if you don't want to wear a mask, but think of it as protecting others. To everyone, I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. When I open up the breakout rooms, it will invite you to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To all of the defendants or those who are accused, I'm going to call your attorney's name. I will not call your name. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it is because your attorney is not on the Zoom. Trust me, your attorney will Zoom in. They are probably Zooming into another courtroom because they have other courts they need to be in. Some of them are out of county. Some of them have courts that they need to appear in person. So be patient. So please do not raise your hand and tell me that you have not heard your attorney's name because they're in another courtroom. Attorneys, this is the order in which you'll appear. If you see your name is low on the list and you wish to Zoom to another courtroom, you're more than welcome. However, if you do that and your name is called, you will be placed at the end of the list. Carolyn Whitland, Carlos Martinez, Linda Corley, James Milan, Eduardo Jimenez, Eli Rico, Alma Benavides, Daniel De La Garza, Pat Montgomery, Ray Martinez, Shannon Locke, Simpson and Gold, Teresa Coles-Davila, and I believe you're probably with an attorney as a immigration attorney. Steve Harkowitz, Tim Molina, Pat Hancock, Ed Garcia, Orlando Castagnon, Catherine Valenzuela, Joel Perez, Ed Bartolome. Is there any defense attorney whose name I've missed?
Yes, Your Honor, Ed Shaughnessy.
Anyone else? All right, to all attorneys, as you can see, there are more defense attorneys than there are prosecutors. So everyone put some patience in your pocket. Again, let's keep this as a Friday. Attorneys, when I assign you to the breakout room, I will need,
Excuse me, Your Honor.
yes,
Your Honor.
yes.
David Woodward, he called me, he emailed me last
No,
night.
excuse me. I will get to
Yes.
you. Thank
Okay.
you. No problem. Attorneys, when I assign you to a breakout room, think of those breakout rooms as going to the doctor's office. When you go back there, you're not seeing the doctor, they're just checking your weight and your blood pressure. So attorneys, when I call your name, I will need to know the name of your client, and I will need to know whether your client is with criminal trial division or family violence. Please be patient when you go to the breakout room. The prosecutors have the ability to move throughout the breakout rooms. If you leave that breakout room, the prosecutor will see that that room is empty and they will skip over you and go to the next person in line. Carolyn Whitland.
Good morning, Judge. Mine's family violence, Matthew Burke.
All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Great. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Carlos Martinez. Carlos Martinez. Carlos Martinez going once. Carlos Martinez going twice. Linda Corley.
Hi, Judge. Yes, I have Mary Trevino. It is family violence, but I specifically need to speak with David Martin.
All right, thank you. If you'll change your name, I appreciate you doing that. If you'll just put Martin in the name place, that way they'll know you're waiting for David Martin. And I'm going to assign you to breakout room number 3. James Milan.
Good morning, Judge.
Yes.
Myself, Orlando Castañon, and Teresa Coles Davila probably need to get into a breakout room with Tom Nesbitt.
Okay, what's the client's name?
It's Andre Monjares and Jose Monjares, the brothers Monjares.
You should have just said Brothers Monjares. I always think that sounds like a
Russian novel.
Yes, or either that it's a high wire act. I don't know. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4. Teresa Coles Davila, I'm going to send you to number 4. James Milan, number 4. Orlando Castañon, number 4. Everyone, just give me one moment. All right, Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes, Judge, thank you. So yesterday we had Roy Ferguson called back today. I already conferred
Where is Roy Ferguson?
he told me, I talked to him this morning and gave him all the logon information, and I assumed that he had logged on by
No,
now.
he's not on. I'll give him till 10:30.
All right. Okay, the only issue there was, well, we'll talk about it later. Thank you.
All right, Eli Rico.
Jose Hernandez, Your Honor, and it's family violence. And I've been talking to Joe Ray Garcia.
Okay. I'll send you to number 5.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Alma Benavides.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm present for Mr. John Paul Zuleika, who should be logged on. This is with Criminal Division. I've been conferring with Marcus, and he's working on the plea paperwork. I just need instructions on when you want to put me in a breakout room with my client so I can review the paperwork with him.
Okay, so first things first, you're going to help me spell your client's last name.
It's ZULIACA.
Marcus Sanders, did you speak with him today to give him the paperwork? To get the paperwork?
He and I have been exchanging emails, and he did tell me this morning he was working on the paperwork.
All right. Could you put in the chat box to Abigail Chaparro the agreement so that she can get the paperwork that's needed? Is it for a probation or deferred adjudication?
It's for regular probation, Your Honor.
All right. And is your client on bond?
Yes, he is.
All right. So what she'll need is, if you could put in the chat box, I've renamed her as Abigail Chaparro, court coordinator. If you
Okay.
could put your client's email address for her so that she can send you the appropriate paperwork.
I'll do that right now. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And let me find your client on the Zoom screen. Is there a John Zuliaka on the screen? I know I butchered that. All right, thank you. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Alma, let me send you to 6. And Alma, don't go to 6 until you give that information to the court coordinator in the chat box, because otherwise it won't show up.
All right.
The next person is Daniel De La Garza.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Robert Garcia, and it should be special crimes or white collar. Joel Perez, I see, is on here. He has a co-defendant. It'd probably be helpful, I guess, if we all went into the breakout room together.
Okay,
That's
I'm
correct,
sorry.
Your
Give me your name again. The name of the
Robert
defendant.
Garcia. Robert Garcia.
Okay, and Joel, are you the attorney on this as well?
Yes, yes, Your Honor. I'm in this as well, and I've got Vanessa Garza, and she's on this today.
There are 2 other co-defendants, Judge.
Okay, there are more court defendants than just these 2?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I don't see them. I don't see the attorneys on there.
Hang on, Daniel. There's Carlos Martinez, who I see a name for Carlos Martinez. Natasha Torres was his attorney, and she told me last week that she was in federal court.
Yes, she's in federal court.
So, but I thought I saw, I don't know if I see her client or not on there. And then the third defendant is represented by Robert Gebbia. Sorry, the fourth defendant, Pete Diaz is his name.
All right, Gebbia is not here. So I'll send to the breakout room, Joel, Carlos Martinez.
Sit down.
So Carlos Martinez, Daniel De La Garza, Joel Perez, and the other person you guys are waiting on is Gebbia. So I'll send you to the breakout room with the people you have. And I'll send you all to breakout room number 7.
So can we go there without the defendant, Carlos Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor. If only the attorneys can go.
Yeah, no, I'm just sending attorneys. I'm not sending.
Well,
okay.
it's not attorney Carlos Martinez. It's defendant Carlos Martinez.
Oh, I thought you said.
No, that's Natasha's client.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if her client got excused or not.
No. All right. I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 7 because there's an attorney, Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, no, not him. Mm-mm.
All right. I'm going to send you both to number 7.
All right. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Judge.
All right. Pat Montgomery. Pat Montgomery. Going once. Oh, Elena, I made you co-host so you can go there by
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm okay. Thanks, Judge.
Pat Montgomery.
Judge, may
Right.
I approach? This is Eduardo Jimenez. I think
No,
that.
just one second. Ray
Okay.
Martinez.
Yes, good morning, Judge. I have Kendall Blunt this morning, family violence.
I'll send you to breakout room number 8.
And Judge, I also have Michelle Harpo, who's criminal child division.
I'm sorry, what's the other name? Michelle?
Harpel, Harpel. And she's logged on under Moto Stylus, Moto G Stylus.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Shannon Locke.
Yes, Your Honor. Here for Dustin Newkirk. I've been conferring with Marcus Sanders.
All right, I'm going to send you to number 9. And Shannon, if you could add CTD to your name change, because even though it says Sanders, you know, they may think, oh, it's Dustin Newkirk Sanders. But just add CTD to it.
Got it.
All right, so I sent you to number 9. Who's here from Simpson and Gold? Simpson and Gold.
Your favorite, Charles Gold, is here, Judge.
Hi.
And you're my favorite. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I have Parker Penatol. There's 2 issues. I've been talking with Tom. We have an agreement, but my client recently had COVID. But part of the deal is he's going to go into a rehab. So there might, I don't know if we need to reset that and have him time to turn in, but I'd also
Has he already done the plea?
No, it's MTR, and part as the agreement is to do the SATF.
Has he pled true?
No, ma'am.
All right, so if he's available on Zoom, let's have him do the plea of true or not true, and then we can reset it for a disposition. Is that okay? Is he able to do that or no? Because I know some people have COVID and they don't have any symptoms.
Exactly. I think it'll be all right. Let me double check with him. And then, but first, can I put in with the PO just so I can figure out some dates, stuff like that, so I can make a little bit better decision.
Yes, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 10.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me just find you on the screen. Oh, you changed your name to Charles Go. Okay.
Yeah.
I've sent you to number 10, and Rebecca, I've made you a co-host.
Thank you.
You could go to 10, please. Stephen Harkowitz.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
I have Juan Ramirez. We had an MTR back on July 28th, and I received a notification yesterday evening to log on this morning for status of treatment program.
All right, just give us a moment. We're going to check on that, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Tim Molina. Tim Molina.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Who do you have?
Jose Garcia, and it's the same thing. I think we were just supposed to come back and see where he was in line for my off.
All right, as soon as the probation officer comes out of the breakout room, we're going to take care of that.
Thank you.
Pat Hancock.
Good morning, Judge. I have Wilson Daniel Jimenez, and he's in custody, Your Honor. I've been conferring with Tom Nesbitt, so I'll get in line for him.
All right, I'm sorry. What is the last name again, please?
Jimenez.
Okay.
Wilson Daniel.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 11.
Thank you, Judge.
And Bobby Gibby, I'm going to send you to number 7.
Thank you, Judge.
Let me make sure that's the right room. Yes, it is. Ed Garcia.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
I have Alejandro Garcia, 21 CR 4915, Criminal Trial Division. I've been speaking with Marcus Sanders. My client should be there in person, or if he's not there, he's in County Court 2 taking the plea that's going to resolve this felony.
Okay, so just give us a moment. And I'll come right back to you.
All right.
All right. Catherine Valenzuela.
Yes, Your Honor, this is Catherine Valenzuela. I have Julian Rodriguez. It's family violence. And I need to confer with them regarding discovery.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 12.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Ed Bartolome. Ed Bartolome.
I'm back on Mr. McGarity, Your Honor. We're not going to be withdrawing, Your Honor. We'll be looking for a trial date sometime, I would hope, in early October, because I have 3 trials set in September.
All right, we will get back with you. Just give me a moment.
Can I come back later, Judge? I've got to go up to the 290th.
Yes, please come back by 11.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Ed Shaughnessy. You're on mute.
Got it. Yes, we're just here on a bond modification motion. I'd like to talk to Marcus about it if possible.
All right, I'm going to send you to number 13.
Uh-oh, 13.
Oh, that's the lucky breakout room.
Says who?
Oh, everybody loves that room. Great things have happened when you go there.
Oh yeah, today is the 13th.
All right.
Yeah, and today is Friday the 13th. What are the chances? All right. There was a person here who is David Woodard's client. Who is that? David Woodard's client. Unmute yourself, please.
Right here.
All right. What is your name?
Alma Munoz.
All right, Ms. Munoz, your case is being reset for August 18th.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm
You're
dismissed?
excused. Pardon?
I'm dismissed?
Yes, you're gonna be back on Zoom on August 18th, okay?
Yes, ma'am. At what time?
At 9 a.m.
Okay.
Yes. All right,
Thank you.
thanks for your patience. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, mija.
Oh, I thought I was dreaming something.
All right, who is Carlos Martinez? Where are you? Carlos Javier Martinez. All right, he is on mute.
He's here. I need to get it for him. He probably just doesn't know how to do the mute button.
Oh, no. Well, just 1 moment. I'm going to let me see what happens with the other client. So,
Okay.
Ms. Garza, just wait then.
Okay. Yes, he's downstairs. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Just wait for a moment. You don't have to go to him at this point in time, okay?
Okay. Yes,
All right.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Edward Jimenez on Roy Ferguson. Where's Mr. Ferguson?
Yes, this is Eduardo. Roy Ferguson called me that he is online. That's what he told me. It's a CTD case. We conferred yesterday, and the prosecution had not.
Let me stop you. Roy Ferguson.
Roy Ferguson.
Yes,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Roy Ferguson. Is my Southern accent getting in
Oh,
the way?
okay. He told me he's online, Judge. I don't know what to say.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're listed as Dwayne.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. That's my middle name.
All right.
Oh, Dwayne Ferguson. My email is Dwayne Ferguson. Family and friends call me Dwayne.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I tried
All right.
yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. All right, Mr. Jimenez, have you been given an offer in this case?
No, Judge. As I was saying, we conferred, and the prosecution has not had a chance to talk to the complaining witness yet. So they recommended a reset until they would be able to do that in order to proffer an offer.
All right, Abigail, could you give me a 30-day reset, please?
Judge, we can do September 10th.
Okay.
All right, we'll come back on September 10th to see where we are with the complaining witness.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very
All
much.
right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you.
Ferguson, you and your attorney are excused. Have a great Friday.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. Oh,
You're
Your Honor,
welcome.
have a great day too.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor.
Just one moment. Let me see if Rebecca is back in this breakout room. Everyone, just give me a moment.
Yes, Judge, I'm back.
All right, Rebecca, let me see. On Juan Ramirez, do you have an update on his treatment bed?
He's pending his lab work, and once that's cleared, then it's a 6 to 8 week period.
All right, is he waiting to go to an inpatient treatment for
the DDRF program?
All right, so Steve, what we're gonna do is on your case, Mr. Juan Ramirez, we're gonna give it a 30-day reset and we're gonna see where we are.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Chaparro, we don't put these in the system because if we put them in the system and they're ready for a bed, it's gonna show that they have a setting and they won't accept them. So these have sort of like mystery settings. So
Okay.
On Juan Ramirez, can I have a 30-day reset, please?
We can do that one for September 10th as well.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harkowitz. We'll come back on September 10th to see the status. So
Yes,
I
Your
guess he's just waiting for medical release then, correct, Rebecca?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All right, Tim Molina.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, your client is,
Jose Garcia.
all right, let me find him on the docket. Rebecca, do you see him on the docket?
What was his name?
Jose Garcia.
Jose Garcia is on the recall.
All right, do you have a status of his bed?
He has a pending case, so they can't move forward with anything until that gets taken care of.
All right, Tim, I guess you're on his, which pending case is it? Do we know?
I believe it's the 2021 CR 2778.
I was told that was dismissed the day after we had court at the last setting.
Okay,
because. All right, what I'm gonna do, Tim, I'm gonna send you to a breakout room to speak to the state.
Okay, it was Marcus Sanders.
Okay. And do you have that case number so you can let him know? Tim?
I don't have it in front of me, but I'll look it up.
Let me give it to you. It's 2021 CR 2778. So he can see where it is in the system.
Okay.
Judge, I actually do show it already dismissed in the system.
Okay, so it's dismissed in the system, Rebecca.
Okay, so then they'll set up the medical evaluation.
All right, and how long will this take?
I'm not sure how long the medical evaluation takes to get set up, Judge.
All right, and is he going to an inpatient treatment facility?
That's also the DDRF program.
All right, so we're gonna give it a 30-day reset, Tim, and see what's going on. And Rebecca, if someone could contact whomever it is who thinks he has a pending case open to make sure they know that he doesn't have a pending case open.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and then Abigail, I guess we'll put this on September 10th as well, correct?
That works, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Molina.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're excused. We'll be back on September 10th to see about the update.
Thank you.
All right, and I believe there's an attorney who just zoomed in. Who is that attorney, please? Attorney whose name has not been called. Okay. Matthew Allen, who do you have? Oh, it's Friday and he has a bad Wi-Fi connection.
Just
But it's humorous.
Yes, David Rocha and Daryl Harris is the prosecutor. I texted.
All right. David, can you see if you can get Daryl Harris in here, please?
Yeah, can you make me a copy of this check?
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, and then Matthew Allen, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 16, but do not go
Sorry,
to 16.
I'm in court in Bernie in person.
All right, I'm going to send you to number 16, but don't go to number 16 until Daryl Harris comes on Zoom. All right, everyone, just give me a moment.
And
All right, Ed Bartholomew.
I have Guadalupe Cedillo as well, Your Honor. I apologize.
Okay.
That'd be family violence.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 17.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And Ed Garcia, you say your client is taking a plea. In which court, please?
County Court 2, Judge.
All right, do you have a status update on that plea?
No, I don't. But can you see if my client is in your courtroom though?
Sure. Let me check the chat. No, he is not in the courtroom.
Okay, that tells me he's in number 2. Marcus and I conferred yesterday afternoon, and Marcus was real helpful in getting the case set for this morning in
All
County
right.
Court 2.
Let's do this. I'm going to recall you back, and I'll recall you back for 2 p.m. And if the plea has already been done, then the state will contact you because I'll already have taken care of that. I can either recall you back for 2, or either you can check in later this morning to see if it's been done.
Yeah, I can check in later this morning, and then if it doesn't work, I can check back in with you at 2 o'clock.
Okay, all right. Well, you're excused, and if you could try to be back here before 12 p.m.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Pat Hancock.
Judge Tom, you on?
Am I muted? I'm not muted. Hey, Judge, we're back on Wilson Daniel Jimenez. Pat and I conferred. We disclosed an additional potential discovery issue. We talked about some videos. What we're going to do moving forward is, I think the defense is going to request the setting of a bond reduction in Carruthers Court or here or wherever, and then we're going to continue to at least confer on the issues on this case. And I think pending the outcome of that bond motion, we'll see where we're at.
All right.
Judge, I had actually filed a motion to reduce bond, and I told Tom I'm happy for you to set it in your court or Carruthers, whatever the court does. I just have some out of town witnesses that will need to appear by Zoom, I guess. And so I don't know how to, if you can.
Well,
you
are
want to give me
both parties okay with proceeding on Zoom for the hearing if the defense has witnesses?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to do, Mr. Hancock. Norma Ferguson isn't here. I'm going to give you a 30-day reset. But if you contact Ms. Ferguson before then, she'll get with you and the state to give you a setting for your bond.
Okay, Judge, that's perfect. Thank you. And
All
Judge,
right.
may I think my client's in custody. If I could Zoom with him, that'd be awesome.
All right, just one second.
Thank you.
Can I have a 30-day reset on Wilson Jimenez, please?
Judge, we can do September 9th.
All right, so we're going to come back on September 9th for this, Mr. Hancock. But again, on your bond motion, if you want that heard, just confer with Ms. Ferguson.
I'll do it, Judge. Thank you.
And your September 9th date will be set as a discovery.
Okay.
Oh, Judge,
All right.
I'm sorry, Judge. If it's for discovery, Norma told me either Friday, so we can add it to the thing.
Yes, if we can do Fridays, what would be the next Friday?
We can do September 17th.
All right, Mr. Cox, it's going to be September 17th.
Okay, Judge, that sounds good. And I'll let you line me up with my client in the Zoom. And do I send him out of the Zoom when he's done?
Yes, you need to bring him back to the main room. Mr. Jimenez, the one whose attorney is Pat Hancock, if you could raise your hand for me, please. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 11 to meet with your attorney. After you finish meeting with your attorney, you need to come back to the main room. All right, and Mr. Hancock, you can go back to 11.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right. Joel Perez, Bobby
Yes,
Gibbia,
Judge.
Daniel
Yes,
Del
Judge.
Garza. Yes.
Guilty is charged.
So what is happening?
Judge, obviously we have a new prosecutor on the case, and I think she's considering new offers, Your Honor. One, on my client, I'm going to produce potentially exculpatory evidence to Elena, and then that'll make a determination for her on how we go forward.
Wait, who are the parties? So we have Vanessa Garza. Who else?
Pete Diaz is
Robert.
my client, Your Honor.
Pete Diaz. Let me grab the files. I need to keep these together. All right, Pete Diaz. Who else? Carlos Martinez. Is that correct?
That's Natasha's client.
All right, and who else do we have? Just those three?
No, Robert Garcia, I think.
Garcia is mine, Your Honor.
All right, so where are we, Miss Altus?
So Judge, I finally had a chance to confer with these three attorneys. I'd previously been conferring with Natasha, and as a result of today's conferring, I am going to tweak their offers slightly. I can send that email as soon as we get off of Zoom this morning. They need time to, like Joel said, he's going to provide me some additional information regarding his client that would affect that offer. And then they need an opportunity to discuss the new offers with their clients.
All right, Ms. Charo, can you put this date near the end of September, please?
Yes, we can do September 24th.
All right, everyone. This is going to be set for September 24th. That is going to be the plea deadline date for everybody. After that date, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements. The court will only accept plea bargain agreements that are open to the court. Carlos Martinez, we're going to come back. I'm sorry, Vanessa, could you have him unmute his phone?
Yes, here he is.
Thank you.
Yes, Anna.
All right. So to all of the defendants, Carlos Martinez, Robert Garcia, Pete Diaz, and Vanessa Garza, your case is being reset for September 24th at 9 a.m. It will be by Zoom. That will be your plea deadline date. What that means is after that date, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements. You will have to plea open to the court if you decide to. And if you decide not to accept the offers, I'm going to be asking whether or not you want a jury trial or a bench trial. Is there anything else from either attorneys?
No,
Not from
Your Honor.
Joel Perez, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you,
Fabio?
Judge. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Nice to see
Oh,
you.
thank you. You know what? It's going to be beautiful. And you know, it's Friday the 13th, but that's not what you should be worried about. You should be worried about Saturday the 14th, which was a great movie, by the way. Cult classic.
It was. The
Thank
13th
you, Bobby.
is
You
my lucky
heard-
number.
you
I was
said
born
that.
on the 13th, so I'm good to
Okay.
go. It's gonna be a great day.
All right. All right. So you all are excused. And Ms. Garza, can you let Mr. Martinez know he's excused? His attorney's in federal court.
Yes, I sure will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. You're all excused unless you have someone
you,
else
Your
on the
Honor.
docket.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Happy Friday, Judge.
All right. Happy Friday. And everyone, just give me a moment, please.
So
Does anyone see where Carlos Martinez is on the docket?
They were all underneath each other on page 18.
All right, thank you. All right, Ernest Acevedo, and then we're going to take up Greg Demarie. Ernest Acevedo?
Here, Judge.
Yes, who do you have?
Jonathan Cruz Garcia.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal Trial Division. It's Mr. Nisbet's case.
Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout room. Let me see what is opening up. I'm going to send you to number 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Greg Demarie?
Yes, Judge. I have Ed Treese Durant. He is present in the courtroom. It is Criminal Trial Division. I've already actually conferred with Hunter and showed him a video.
Okay.
And we can address you. I also can send you the video if you need to see it.
Well, do you all have an agreement?
Hunter, are you here?
Yes, Judge, we have an agreement.
All right. And you say it's Edris Durant, correct?
Correct, Judge. Night Mag. I'm going to make it up here, so I don't want to do that.
Don't make it up. I just have to find.
It is Night Mag 618150.
All right. And so what is your agreement?
I believe Mr. Desmarais would be in agreement to a strong admonishment that Mr. Durant be more aware of his bond conditions when he's having to blow.
All right. To the court, if I could have Mr. Durant come forward, please.
Right here, and then you just say something.
All right. And to the court reporter, this is not on the record. Mr. Durant?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you like the feeling of handcuffs and leg irons?
Oh, negative. No, ma'am.
All right, so then you need to start behaving as though you don't like the feeling of that. This is your second violation. The court, here's the thing, there are no excuses. I don't want to hear mouthwash. I don't want to hear accident. I don't want to hear any of that. There are no excuses. You are on, well, your charge is driving while intoxicated, third or more. And I understand. No evidence has been proven that you committed this offense, but that's what you're charged with. And when you're charged with that offense, there are certain conditions that go along with that offense. And one of those conditions, whether or not you're guilty of it or not, while you're on bond, you have some type of monitoring device. And the court requires that you abide by the rules of that monitoring device. So when I receive a report that there are violations as it relates to that monitoring device, that's a problem and that's a red flag for me. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If I have another red flag, of course, I will keep an open mind. I will listen to both your attorney and I will listen to the state and make a decision. But there better not be another red flag, whether it's related to mouthwash, whatever, NyQuil, Tylenol, whatever. There had better not be another red flag that is put on my desk. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If there is, you're going to find yourself not dressed the way you are dressed, but dressed probably in an orange outfit at the Bexar County Jail. And we'll be hearing it from the Bexar County Jail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So state, you're in agreement to reinstating the bond?
Yes, Judge.
So I'm going to reinstate the bond. The pretrial services officer, you need to report to them today. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. To the clerks, if you could come back to the office, please.
Your Honor, I sent you a chat.
Okay, just 1 second. Mr. Demarier,
Yes, Judge.
your client has a warrant out of County Court at Law number 2.
Okay.
So if you want, I'll send you to a breakout room with the deputy. So, you know, maybe you need to zoom into County Court number 2, but I only have jurisdiction of what's in front of this court.
Yes, Your Honor. And I will look into that right away.
All right, so I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Durant,
Yes, ma'am.
I only have jurisdiction over
I understand.
cases. All right, so
I understand.
if you could go to number 1 and the deputies will speak to you. Okay, I only have this purple pen. Thanks.
And Your Honor, not to interrupt, but if I could be put in a breakout room with my client.
All right, just give me 1 moment, please.
Yes.
This one actually, so you can just write it or whatever. Thank you. All right, Shannon, you have Dustin Newkirk. and
Yes,
you're
ma'am. I'm in
number
9. I'm in 9.
All right, Mr. Newkirk, if you could go to 9, please. All right,
yes.
Roland. Yes, Roland Garcia, who do you have?
Nancy Gonzalez, it's a recall, I think, from Monday or Tuesday of this week, Judge, and you were contemplating whether she was going to go to drug court or the way I recall it, you were considering putting her on outpatient intensive supervision or zero tolerance or something like that.
All right, just give me a moment. And we'll address that in 1 second.
Sure.
Charles Gold.
Hey, Judge.
Hi, do you have the paperwork on Pimentel?
Well, I think we have an agreement to continue. And so that's up to you, I guess. It's
Well, no, I mean, there's paperwork that needs to be filled out.
Sure. No, we haven't done that yet. No, but yeah, it's a continue to go to SATF.
Okay, so what you'll need to do is in the chat box to Abigail Chaparro.
I know
if your
Abigail.
client- Yes. Hi. If you'll put in the chat to box to her what your agreement is,
Okay,
so that he can enter his plea, and then we'll set a sentencing date for another day.
Judge, the other thing I could suggest, and I'll do whatever you want me to do. But we can do it now, and he could just turn himself in like 2 weeks whenever the.
No.
Okay.
Yes, because
Whatever you wanna
I
do.
found that doesn't work.
Okay. So we're gonna plead true, do the paperwork, and then come back and do it another day.
Yes.
Understood. Okey-doke.
All righty, everyone, just give me one moment, please.
Okay.
Wilson Jimenez, where is Wilson Jimenez? All right, Ms. Chaparro, can you let them know that 14F can go back?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Jimenez, I see the deputy behind you. Be sure to let him know that you're excused.
Yes, Your Honor. You have a good day. Thank you.
All right, thank you, you too. Rick Ramos, who do you have?
Good morning, Judge. I'm here for Mr. Eduardo Rojas Mejia. He's listed as L5, if I'm not mistaken.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
I know it was Oscar Salinas. I'm not sure exactly which division.
That's Special Crimes.
Yes.
Let me see if Oscar is here. All right, could one of the prosecutors email or chat Mr. Salinas and let him know he's here?
Yes, Judge. And Oscar was in the Zoom earlier.
Yes, I don't know where he went.
Okay, I will, Judge.
Mary's iPhone. Who is Mary, the person who's on here wrapping gifts and filling out birthday cards?
Oh, I'm taking notes. I'm a big note taker.
So you're taking notes on a card, a greeting card? Because that's a greeting card by you.
Oh no, these aren't greeting cards. They're all little notebooks here.
Mermaid vibes? Okay. All right, just give us a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ramos, we will get your Mr. Salinas in here shortly.
Thank you, Judge. Stand by.
Yes. Rolando Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor.
On your Nancy Gonzalez.
She's online, Judge.
Yes.
Okay, why isn't she in the courtroom?
I didn't know that she was required to be in the courtroom, Judge.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez.
That's my mistake. I just assumed it.
All right, because, well, here's the thing.
No, she is there. She is there in the courtroom. I'm sorry.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
My boss just told me, corrected.
Well, no, she's right here in her car.
She should be in court.
No, let me show you where she is.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm not in court.
Yeah, here she is in her vehicle.
Okay. My mistake again, Judge. But
no problem.
Tough start this morning.
No problem. Rebecca, was her UA completed?
Let me check, Judge.
Did you complete your UA, Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are the results of that UA?
It's positive.
All right, and what is it positive for?
For opiates.
Okay. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, you need to come to the courtroom.
Okay.
All right, it's 300 De La Rosa, 187 District Court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you need to be here before 11 o'clock.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And by the way, you can park here at the parking lot and that way you can walk to the court.
Okay, yes, sir.
You come park here at the office.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and who was the person who was waiting for Daryl Harris?
Should be Attorney Matt Allen, Your Honor. And good morning to the court.
Good morning. All right, everyone, just give me a moment, please. Okay, everyone, we are back. Darrell Harris, we're waiting for Matthew Allen to now zoom back in. He was here. All right, Eli Rico.
Your Honor, the disposition on competency just came back, Your Honor, and I just conferred with the prosecutor in the case, and he's made an offer. I'd like a little bit of time to discuss that with my client. See if we could get a reset so we can come back and decide what we want to do on this.
Where is Jose
He should be online.
Hernandez?
Yes.
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney. And you need to show your video. Mr. Rico, what breakout room were you in?
I believe I was in number 5.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, if you could go to breakout room number 5, please.
Okay.
All right, and who are we waiting on? Rick Ramos, we're just waiting for Oscar Salinas.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, Oscar
Yes.
said he was in the 186 and would be here in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you. And then Mr. Harris, we're waiting for Matthew Allen to come back. If you have his number, if you could chat him and let him know that you're here.
Roger that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Carolyn Whitland.
Hi, Judge. Yes.
Yes, on your case, Matthew Burke, what is happening?
On Mr. Burke, we have been trying to get a bunch of discovery, and the state has uploaded a lot of stuff, a number of hours. David and I did confer. I need some time to go through that to make sure that it has everything. There also was an issue of some jail calls, which he said that according to his investigator, they weren't able to find. So that will probably still be outstanding, but I'll look through what they were able to give me. So.
And where are you right now? That setting is so beautiful, the sky.
I'm at my mom's house. I'm at where I grew
Okay.
up. So but I can't go in the house because it's too loud. So.
All right.
It's Wisconsin. So it's northern Wisconsin. It's like, you should have seen the stars last night. It's gorgeous.
Well, do the stars there rival the stars that they say in Texas? You know, you have that Texas song about the stars.
I tell you, this sky is nothing like Texas. It's you see everything. Last night there was a meteor shower. It was amazing.
Oh, wow. All right, Ms. Chaparro, can you give them a discovery setting date?
Yes, you're looking at September 17th.
Can you push it a little bit? Because they're saying there's going to be an issue with the video.
Do you want to do September 24th, Judge?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
All right, we're going to come back on September 24th for discovery. Where is Matthew Burke?
Yes.
Matthew Burke.
Here, ma'am.
Yeah, he's
All right, Mr. Burke, we're going to come back on September 24th for discovery issues. You and your attorney are excused.
Judge, could we go into a breakout room?
Yes, and then you all can leave from the breakout room.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Judge. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too. Mr. Burke, I'm sending you to breakout room number 2, and Ms. Wentland, if you can go back to number 2.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
All right, anyone else back from the breakout room?
I am, Judge.
Yes, Jonathan Cruz Garcia, what is happening with that case?
We were hopeful there might be a plea bargain we could reach, but there is not at this point, so it has to stay on a trial track.
All right, we're gonna, have you received all the discovery?
I have, Your Honor.
All right, Abigail, if we can recall Mr. Garcia, because I don't know, did Norma give you trial dates or no?
No, Judge.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna recall Mr. Garcia for next week for a trial setting date, Mr. Acevedo. And have you already received a plea deadline date?
I believe we're way past that, Judge.
Okay,
Or you know what? I don't think we have, but yeah,
all right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a plea deadline date. Is your client on bond or in custody?
no, he's in custody, Judge.
All right, Mr. Cruz, I'm sorry, not Jonathan Cruz Garcia. I'm going to give you what's known in this court as a plea deadline date. What that means is that the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after that date. The court will only accept pleas that are open to the court. And if you decide not to accept the plea, then your counsel will confer with state and they'll let me know if they want a jury trial or a bench trial. Mr. Acevedo, were you given a new offer today or no?
No, we have the original offer is back on the table, apparently.
All right. So on Jonathan Cruz, can we set this in 2 weeks, please?
Yes, Judge, you're looking at August 27th.
All right. So we're going to come back on August 27th. That's your plea deadline date. And at that time, Mr. Acevedo, you and Mr. Nesbitt can confer in a breakout room with Ms. Ferguson. And if your client wishes a jury trial, we will give him a jury trial date.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Do you need to speak with your client?
If I could briefly.
All right. After you speak with him, I'll need you to bring him back in the main room so that he can be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
And what was your previous breakout room number?
7.
All right. Mr. Garcia, if you go to breakout room number 7, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone, just give me a moment. All right, Shannon Locke, Dustin Newkirk.
Yes, Your Honor, I think we've worked out an agreement and I'm confirming his email address. If I could get Mr. Sanders. I think my client's still in the breakout room.
I'll send you to breakout room number 11 and Mr.
Thank you.
Sanders will meet you there.
Great.
Ray Martinez on Kendall Blunt and Michelle, the other person, Michelle.
Judge, on Kendall Blunt, the court just approved my appointment of an expert. I know it seems it's a little bit late in the game, but if the court will recall that the autopsy in this case the report wasn't actually available until several months after the indictment was issued. So I'm in the process of getting the records to my expert so he can evaluate them, and then the state and I can have a better understanding where we stand in this case.
When are those records going to be with your expert?
Well, Judge, the court just signed the order like yesterday, I think, or the day before. So I would say I'm going to work on it by next week, maybe.
All right. And even though we're not on the record, the court signed the motion when the court received the motion.
No, I understand.
Okay.
We had to find somebody, and of course, we couldn't start any of that until the autopsy was given to us, which it's only been a month or two that we've had it.
All right. So what we're going to do, Ms. Chaparro, can we recall this at the end of the month so that we can make sure that everything is on track? You can say it's discovery, but it's really discovery to defense's expert.
And Judge, the state and I have discussed the possibility we may have to look for some more prior medical records of the deceased that neither one of us has at this point.
All right, then let's do the first week in September.
We can do September 3rd.
All right, we're going to come back on September 3rd, see where we are. And Mr. Blunt, we're going to come back on September 3rd. Defense, do you need to speak with Mr. Blunt?
I just spoke to him a couple of days ago, Judge, so we're good.
All right, Ms. Chaparro, can you let them know that 14G can go back?
Yes, Judge, thank you.
And I'm still working on the other case, Judge, if I could have a few minutes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Blunt, we will see you on September 3rd. Shaughnessy, Ed Shaughnessy.
Yes, Your Honor. I
Yes.
spoke with Mr. Sanders regarding our motion. He indicated he's opposed to it. I think it speaks for itself if the court has it in front of it.
And which motion is this, please?
Motion to modify bond conditions to remove the GPS.
All right, let me see if I have that. Just give me a moment.
Roger that.
All right, the clerks are getting me that motion and we'll take that up.
You betcha.
And Linda Corley is in number 3, family violence. And Ed Bartholomew, I'm going to move him to number 13. And to the clerks, I'm sending you documentation on Penmantel. And I'm also sending you documents on Zucala.
Thank you, Deb.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Robert, it's breakout room number 6, so I'll send you to number 6. All right, and Oscar Salinas, Rick Ramos is here for you. Mr. Ramos, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. And then on Jasmine Hardaway, I do have the motion. Who is the prosecutor on Jasmine Hardaway?
That's Marcus, Your Honor.
All right, let me see if he is here. He's currently in a breakout room. Let me see where he is. He's in number 11. As soon as he comes out of number 11, I'll take the matter up. And Charles Gold, I think we have the issue settled on Penmantel.
Outstanding, Judge. What else do I need to do? Pick a date?
No, I think on Penmantel, you said you wanted to proceed. So he's gonna enter his plea and then we're gonna come back with a date for him to come in.
Right. What date are you looking at? Or
Well, first off, does your client have medical documentation? Have you seen the medical documentation?
I saw one, he said, I saw one from the 21st of last month that was positive, and he said he went 2 days ago, but he doesn't have the documentation that he was still positive 2 days ago.
All right, we're going to recall this for next week. Your client can enter his plea today, and we'll recall it for next week.
Sounds
And we'll
great.
see where we are. And who is the prosecutor you're working with?
That Canadian judge.
Okay. Okay, who's playing with my spotlights? Yeah, everyone stop touching your screens because there's something crazy going on right now. Just give me one moment. All right, we're ready to go on the record. Court is calling 2020 CR 2478 State of Texas versus Parker Daniel Pimentel, Pimentel. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Tom Nisbet.
for the defense?
Charles Gold for Mr. Pimentel.
And are you Mr. Pimentel? You need to unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None.
Any objection from the defense?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Pimentel, did you review a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you a document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Parker Daniel Pimentel who was placed on community supervision in 2020 CR 2478 for the offense of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on December 2nd, 2020 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Condition number 2, on or about the 3rd day of May 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Parker Daniel Pimentel did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely methamphetamines, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True.
State?
We'll waive the remaining allegations, Judge.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Pimentel, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 5 years in prison and a $1,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2. It's my understanding that there are medical issues concerning Mr. Pimentel and that this is going to be recalled for next week. Is that correct, state and defense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Chaparro, could I have a setting date for next week, please?
We can do August 19th.
Thursday,
All right.
at what time?
That will be at 9 a.m.
Judge, just FYI, I got a couple things at 9. Can we, if I'm,
Well, I can set it at, would 10 o'clock suit you better or 10:30?
10:30 would be a lot better, Judge.
All right, so we'll set it on August 19th at 10:30 a.m. If there are
Thank you,
any
Judge.
medical issues with your client, you will need to have that documentation to the court. Otherwise, he needs to appear in court.
Is that, you understand that, Mr. Pimentel? So Thursday at 10:30, you're gonna have to be at court. You're not, it's not a Zoom. I'll be on Zoom, but you have to be in person. All right?
Yes, sir.
But Mr. Pimentel, if there are medical issues, you need to provide that documentation to your attorney. Then, of course, Mr. Gold, if you can let us know the day before if they're going to be.
And that's fair enough. So, Mr. Pimentel, do you understand that? So I want you to get a test on Wednesday, all right, to show that you're negative. Understand? If you're
Yes,
not,
sir.
then you have to let me know, because if you're positive, you can't go to the courthouse.
I got you.
Okay, doke.
All right, thank you. Mr. Pimentel, we'll see you then. You are excused.
Can I have an excuse, Judge?
Yes,
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
thank you. You
Bye-bye.
too. All right, the parties, let me see. If Marcus is back. Marcus, are you ready to proceed on Ms. Hardaway? Marcus Sanders, yes.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Ms. Benavides, are you ready? The court is calling 2021 CR 1111, State of Texas versus Jasmine Hardaway. If I could have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense.
Ed Shaughnessy, Your Honor.
And are you Ms. Hardaway?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
None.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Hardaway, do you have any objection to this hearing taking place by video?
No, ma'am.
And for the record, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Defense has filed a motion to modify the defendant's bond conditions. State, you had a chance to review the defense's motion.
Yes, Judge.
And state, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense, it's your motion.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Hardaway's here if you want to hear from her, but our position is outlined in the motion. Ms. Hardaway has been on this GPS for roughly 8 months. It's been modified on 2 occasions, one to let her take her child to school and another to let her go to work. She has lost her job. She is indigent, and she is $1,300 in arrears with the GPS provider. We believe that she has no prior criminal record. She has missed no court appearances. I'm not entirely sure why the GPS was put on in the first place, but nevertheless, we believe that she is not a risk to cause harm to the public, nor is she a risk not to appear for court. She has no means to pay for this GPS because of the lack of employment. She was employed for some period of time and was making those payments, but that employment dried up and she is no longer working. I'm not sure that, or I'm fairly sure that there's no need for GPS in this matter. And if the GPS were removed and a need arose for it to be placed back on, then the court would be empowered to do that. But right now, all it is doing is further exacerbating her financial situation without any benefit to anyone except the providers of the GPS. It's not a pretty sight, and it doesn't improve the likelihood of her appearing, nor does it serve to protect the public. I don't think the rationale for placing it on the defendant when it was originally placed on still exists, if it ever existed in the first place. And we would ask the court to remove the GPS as a condition of her bond. If the court wants to add an additional reporting requirement to substitute, that would probably be something we could certainly comply with. But right now, it's just a matter of time before the GPS people say, well, we're pulling the GPS because she hasn't paid. Then the court's going to be put in a position of having to decide whether to issue a warrant for violating the conditions of bond. It's an endless circle, and I think the court is aware of how these things unfold. We'd urge the court to remove the GPS as a condition of bond. That's all I'd have, unless the court wants to hear from my client. She's available on Zoom.
All right, State.
Judge, we would leave it to the court's discretion. The only reason I can assume that the GPS was put on is because of the nature of the offense. And so that's why the state doesn't necessarily agree with its removal. But it is correct that she doesn't have any criminal history. And so we aren't strongly opposed to its removal if that's what the court decides to do.
All right, so here's the question. These are answers the court needs. First, does anyone know why GPS was required? Was it only just because of the nature of the offense?
Well, there was no explanation at the time it was put on. It was put on by the magistrate, Your Honor, and there's no record of that proceeding. So I'm in the dark on that. I have to assume that the magistrate who put it on just saw the offense and said, well, we're going to slap a GPS on.
All right, second question the court has. Is there any concern that Ms. Hardaway is a danger to the complainant's family? Bear in mind, I'm asking these questions because I don't know anything about the case. I don't receive anything about the nature of the case. I only know what the charge is. So is there any concern from the state that Ms. Hardaway is a danger to relatives or friends or loved ones of the complainant? And is there any concern from the state that she's a danger to the public?
At this time, there is not, Judge.
Okay.
Your Honor, just for clarification, there was no weapon involved in this case.
All right, this is what the court will do. Then the court will order the removal of the GPS. The court will note that the defendant is indigent. However, the court will have to report to pretrial services weekly, and that will be by phone. You'll need to report weekly. If there are any issues where you are not reporting weekly or you miss reporting Ms. Hardaway, I'm going to receive a violation report and we're going to have issues. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, there was some background noise here. What did the court just state? Is it weekly reporting by phone?
Yes, she used to do weekly reporting by phone.
Okay,
if she missed reporting, then I'm going to receive a report and we're going to have issues.
That's fine, Your Honor. I don't anticipate any problems.
State, do you think weekly reporting by phone will address any concerns that the state would have?
Yes, Judge.
All right, then the next issue we have is we need can we have a 30-day reset on this case, Ms. Chaparro?
Your Honor, could I address that before the court resets it?
Yes.
I have sent to my expert in Florida the discovery packet provided by the state for him to render an opinion. It is in his possession, and I'm not entirely sure when I will get from him a report regarding the contents of that discovery and his opinion relating to this case. Would it be possible to await word from him before we set it again?
No, because I've discovered that when we do that, people put things on the back burner, not necessarily saying you, but when experts don't have deadlines, honestly, when anybody doesn't have a deadline, it's out of sight, out of mind. So we're going to recall this in 30 days to see where we are. Ms. Chaparro, if I could have a 30-day reset for discovery, please.
But we can do September 17th if that's okay.
Yes. All right.
Your
we'll be
Honor,
back.
Your Honor, I'm going to be out of the city on the 17th of September. Could we do it the following week?
All right. Could we set it for the following week, please?
We can do the Monday, the 20th. Will you be back?
No, I'll be flying back. on the-
Okay, so the 24th.
All right. We'll see you back on September 24th.
Okay, go Tigers.
Yes. Thank you.
Who do they open with?
Oh, that is not even on my radar. We're off the record. That's not even on my radar, Ed. I'm just trying, everybody's trying to survive.
What kind of fan are you?
Oh, I'm a great fan, but you got to put things on a scale of importance.
All right, I'll give you a pass on that one.
Okay,
I won't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody. I think survival is the first thing we need to be worried about.
You bet.
All right, thank you. You and your client are excused.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Just one moment.
That's all right.
All right, who are the parties on John Paul Zulaka? I know I'm mispronouncing that name.
I'm present for him, Your Honor. It's Zuleika.
Zuleika. Okay, I'm going to try to remember that. Is your client in custody or on bond?
He's on bond, Your Honor.
Let me see where he is. Is he listed by?
It's something motto something.
Well, no, I changed his name.
Oh, okay.
To his real name.
Hey, Ron.
And I don't see him.
That prosecutor.
Just one moment. Oh, he changed it back to Motto G.
Okay, that's fine. Well, at least it's on the way. Don't worry. Just so she can get it to me. I'm still sitting in. Okay, Judge.
Yes, I'm on the record. Everyone,
Judge.
put patience in your pocket.
I did. I didn't see the little triangle. I apologize, Judge.
That's okay. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 7308W, State of Texas versus John Paul Zulaka. Could I have parties announced for the record, please? For the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Alma Benavides.
All right, and are you John Paul Zulaka? I need you to unmute.
Yes, I am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Zulaka, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. The next document I'm going to show you is entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury hear the evidence in this case and make a determination on whether or not to indict?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you also understand that your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information, and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Defense, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Zulaka, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled information. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Zulaka, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with by information is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Zalaka, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the state jail facility. There's a $500 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. The state recommends community supervision, and there's $57 restitution to San Antonio Police Department for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and regular UAs. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Into the offense is charged in the information. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
Yes, the state offer states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
We have no objections, Your Honor.
Mrs. Zalaka, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and laboratory reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
Yes.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we're just asking the court to follow the plea bargain that we've entered into with the state. Mr. Zuleika tells me that he is now gainfully employed. He works as a handyman at a local group home, and he's currently earning roughly around $400 a week.
All right, Mrs. Zalaka, do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
My youngest daughter, she's 19 and she barely had a baby, and I'm spending more time with them than I usually did. And I got 2 sons.
All right, are they allowing you to babysit?
Yes.
All right, if you were drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And know that you will be drug tested today.
Clean.
All right, when's the last time you used?
Since I got this job. Because I work with handicapped patients, kids that have disabilities. I work with them, and I got to take all my classes and all my shots and all that, because with all this COVID stuff going on.
When you say you work with them, what do you mean you work with them?
I talk to them. I know that I see them like in a corner or something, and I say, hey, you need somebody to talk to? I'm right here. You want to talk to? You know, like I don't know how can I tell you say, but
Well, they start talking to themselves.
yeah, they start talking to themselves.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know who's helping you with your testimony, but they're not allowed to give you help, right?
Okay,
Because you should know what you do with employment.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what is your supervision around, you say, people with special needs.
Yes.
So what
like,
are you specifically doing? Because in this court, when people are on felony probation, I don't allow people to be a home health care provider, and I don't allow them to supervise minors.
Oh, no, nothing like that. It's like if I'm fixing a door and they're right there, and I'll just talk to them, you know, like, hey, you want to know what I'm doing? Look, you do this and do that. Next time, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what was your drug of choice?
Meth.
And how often were you using meth?
In the weekends. It wasn't a big deal for me. It's just that night that when I got pulled over in a bite, it was just a rough day. But I now I know how to share my freedom, you know. Okay. I don't want to lose my baby girl.
All right, this is what the court is going to do.
Yes, ma'am.
$500 fine, that will be probated. Sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 2 years. Proof of employment within 15 days. No employment as a home health care provider or supervision of minors. $57 to San Antonio Police Department for drug testing. Parenting classes. NA meetings 3 times per week. So it can be NA or AA meetings. It's so you can keep your sobriety.
Oh, okay.
We'll do random UAs for 2 months. Then regular UAs thereafter. field visits, 1 time per month, 120 hours community service restitution, 80 hours to be waived if you receive the vaccine. Now, here's the thing about that. Well, no, let me explain something about it.
Okay.
I wanted to be clear because I don't want somebody going back and saying that I forced them to get a vaccine.
Okay.
You do not have to get a vaccine. But if you do, the court will waive 80 hours of community service restitution. And when I say get a vaccine, I mean, if you're taking Johnson & Johnson, which I believe is 1 shot, then you have to provide proof of that. If you're taking any other vaccine that requires 2 shots, then you have to provide proof that you've actually completed it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So again, so the record can be clear, I'm not requiring you to take a vaccine. You don't have to take the vaccine. That's your right, whether you do or not. But what I'm saying, if you provide proof of that, 80 hours of your community service restitution will be waived.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
And there is to be a regular reporting by Zoom. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Zalaka, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Zalaka, in order to be successful on probation, communication is key. So if there are some issues, you need to let them know. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to go off the record. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will go over conditions with you. Ms. Benavides, as always, it's great seeing you. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, or you can be excused.
I'll go to the breakout room. Thank you, judges. Good to see you too. And please, everybody stay safe.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Have a great weekend.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and then someone was trying to buzz in. I think that was Ed Bartholomew. Ed Bartholomew. All right. And the other person who has plea paperwork is Destin Newkirk. To the clerks, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9 for any paperwork. Everyone, just give me one moment, please. All right, Ted Wood, who do you have?
Judge, good morning. I'm here. Judge, good morning. I'm here on an off docket issue. I'm here on Mr. Matthew Stribling. He is has been before this court on a number of different settings.
What are you here requesting?
Judge, I'm requesting that you recall the bond forfeiture that you issued for Mr. Stribling.
All right, this is what, is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's an attempted arson against an ex-girlfriend. So I think it's a little bit of a mixture. I've been dealing with Joe Ray.
All right, that is family violence then.
Okay.
What I'm going to do, you're going to have to put some patience in your pocket because we have a very big docket. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6. When a prosecutor is available, they come meet you there.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right.
May I approach you on? Oh, yes. Wow. I could feel it in the air.
All right. Let's start with Mary Trevino.
Yes. So I did confirm with David Martin, and he does want to take a closer look on this case. I believe he's going to try to call the detective that was on the investigation of in SAPD. I'm hoping, I know that we've been pushing this, Judge, but I'm hoping that you would allow us to have one more reset. I will be in your court again on August 31st and on September 13th if we could do either one of those dates.
Okay, do you think this Mary Trevino matter will be solved by the end of the month, or do you think it needs the September date?
I'm praying it will be solved, Judge, but I have been praying that all along.
Okay.
I'm an eternal optimist, Judge.
All right. Ms. Chaparro, can we get a setting date for this for potential disposition for either August 31st or September 13th?
Ms. Corley, if you're okay with the August 31st.
Yes, I am. And I believe I talked with David. He said he thinks that would be enough time for him to get done what he needs.
All right, so we'll reset that for August 31st for potential disposition.
Okay.
And then who's your next one?
I believe that's all I have in your report today, Judge.
All right.
Wait, Judge, I think there's one more.
Who else?
Yes, Mary Trevino, you're raising your hand. Could you unmute for me, please?
That's the one that we just talked about.
Yes.
And Mary, I'll talk to you after court.
Yes. Mr.
I'll
Trevino,
talk to you after.
your attorney will speak with you after court, but your next court date is going to be August 31st, okay?
Okay, I had two questions, but she'll be able to answer them rather than yourself, ma'am?
Yes, I'll answer your
yes.
questions, Mary.
Okay,
All right, thank you for your patience. Have a great rest of your day.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And
All
then
right.
Ms. Corley, you
Did I have another
Pauline-
one?
Yes, Pauline Salazar. On page
She's for this
13.
afternoon for a plea. We're coming in to do it in person.
Okay.
We set that one for, I believe it is at 2 o'clock, Judge.
Okay, all right, we'll see you back at 2 on that one. Thank
Okay,
you.
I'll be in person in the court on that one. We'll all be there.
All right, thank you.
Okay, may I be excused?
Yes, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Have a good one. And to the clerks, could you see where Matthew Allen is, please?
Your Honor,
Yes,
I did both
Judge,
emails
I
and
can-
got him on.
yes.
Go ahead, D.
I was just telling, I got him on the phone. He was finishing a plea in another court. He was to come back.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thanks for your patience, Mr. Harris. You know, this is the type of patience you need when you're grilling.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Roland
And Mr.
Garcia.
Allen should be here. He should be on now, Judge.
I don't see him in any room. Here he comes now. You said his name 3 times and he appears. All right, I'm going to send him to breakout room number 3. He's still trying to join. Everyone, just give me a moment, please. And Mr. Harris, I've made you a co-host, so you'll be able to go to number 3 with Matthew Allen. Matthew
Thank you,
Allen,
Donna.
I'm sending you to number 3. Thank you. Catherine Valenzuela.
Yes, Your Honor, I conferred with Mr. Martin. We're trying to, the DA is having trouble opening their discovery. They're gonna talk, and so he is gonna be in the office Monday. He's gonna look through the file. There's some, it's password protected, so we don't know if they can do it or we have to send it to IT.
All right, so we were here in July because discovery issues, and I wrote down past protection issues. So I'm going to give you all a 3-week reset, and that past protection issue needs to be resolved.
I understand that.
All right, Ms. Chaparro, what would be a good date for discovery in 3 weeks?
We can do September 3rd.
All right, we're going to come back on September 3rd.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. If we have no one else with us, you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
Everyone, just give me a moment.
I have your phone charger, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I have.
And then we have Eli Rico.
Yes, Your Honor. I went ahead and I discussed the plea offer with my client, and he needs a little bit of time to talk to his family about this and get back to us.
All right, where's
I don't
Mr.
know, but
Hernandez?
He's here, Your Honor.
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right, can you show your video, please?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, how old are you?
I'm 26 years old.
All right, I'm going to give you the speech that I give everyone when they say they want to talk to their parents to make a decision. I will tell you, every parent would prefer that people talk to them before issues arise. For example, if you have a child who wants to go to a party, the parent would appreciate it if that child would say, I would like to go to this party. There's a rave. I know that's from the 80s. There will be drugs there. There will be no adult supervision. Should I go to that party? A parent would appreciate that as opposed to a child going to the party, getting arrested, and then after everything happens, then call them. I'm at the Bexar County Jail. I went to a party and did A, B, and C. So what I'm telling you is you're old enough to make decisions on your own because you made this decision with regards to these charges. I'm going to give you a reset date, Mr. Hernandez, and you need to come back with a decision for the court. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Rico, how
Yes,
much
Your Honor.
time does your client need?
Whatever the court is willing to give, Your Honor, at this point.
All right. Is August, the end of August, enough time for your client?
I believe that should be fine, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Chaparro, could we set this at the end of August, please?
Judge, we can do August 30th.
All right. We'll come back on August 30th.
Your Honor, I have another case on the 30th. Is there something, can we?
We can do the 27th.
27th?
Yes.
Is there any way we can do it on the 31st? Sorry, I'm sorry, Judge.
Is it
I
30?
think that would be fine, Judge. That's okay with you.
All right. We'll be back on August 31st by Zoom. You and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day. Good weekend.
You're welcome. You too. All right, the next person up is Orlando Castillon. And then we're going to take Rick Ramos.
Yeah, Judge, I was just popping in. I was in the breakout room on Monjara's brothers, but I was also going to let y'all know that I'm here on Montoya as well.
Yes, let me rename you. And is that criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial division.
All right, were you previously conferring with someone on this or no?
Yeah, I think Tom and I were going to be here to, I think, do a discovery acknowledgement. Is that correct, Judge?
Let me look in the file. We're talking about Montoya right now.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so on Montoya, he also has the probation case. So what is happening with Montoya? Has the acknowledgement of discovery been done?
I'm doing that right now, Judge. We're going to go ahead and do it and get it on the books so we know it's done.
Okay. And where are we with the case itself?
I'm not certain if we've got any movement. Tom and I probably need to discuss that.
Okay, so I'm going to send you to a breakout room. And when you come back from the breakout room, we'll discuss Manjares as well. So I'm going to send you, actually, James Milan and Teresa Coles-Davila are still in the breakout room. Are they discussing, I guess they're discussing the immigration issues. Your client did not have an immigration issue, is that correct?
Judge, we've kind of got some, discussion on the immigration stuff, but I think also we need to see where maybe the state is on it as well.
Okay, so do you need to speak with the state?
I believe that's what Teresa and Mr. Milan are both waiting for. Ms. Coles and Mr. Milan waiting to talk to the state so we can come back and make announcements.
All right, so who is the state, who is the prosecutor on the brothers Manjares?
I think we were dealing with Mr. Nisbet. with Tom.
All right. So then Orlando, if you can go back to breakout room number 4 and Tom will meet you there so we can find out what's happening.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And who are the parties on Dustin Newkirk?
Marcus and
Okay, I
Shannon.
think the paperwork is ready, but they're still in the breakout room. Let me go to the breakout room and see if they're coming out. Rick Ramos?
Yes, good morning, Judge. I've conferred with Oscar. I believe there's pending the data download that we were waiting for last time. I think Oscar can expand on that if you need to.
Yes,
Okay.
Judge, last time we were here, I was informed by the Attorney General's office that they're still conducting extractions. I believe, if my memory serves me correct, there's about 18 devices that were taken from Mr. Rojas Mejia's residence. Last time I reached out to the Attorney General's office, they told me it would take several months. We were here for a status on that. I've sent them another email to check on that again, and they told me that they can give me a clear answer by Monday about kind of a deadline of when that's coming.
Okay, so your client is in custody, correct, Mr. Ramos?
He is, Your Honor, and he is a Spanish speaker. So after we're done, if I could be put in a breakout room with him and explain to him what's going on, that'd be great.
All right, this is what we're going to do. Ms. Chaparro, can we call this for the end of the month for discovery? Mr. Salinas, I'm going to want a date certain from the Attorney General's office. And if that date is when they say several months, then we're going to get another setting and somebody from the Attorney General's office is going to need to be here to give an explanation as to why this is taking so long.
And that date would be August 30th.
All right, so we're going to come back on August 30th.
Do I need to bring a witness on that day?
No, on August 30th, I'm hoping at that date, you'll be able to tell me a time frame. And if that time frame is something that I think is outrageous as far as time, then we're going to have another setting date. And then at that time, we'll have the Attorney General here.
Okay.
All right, so it's going to be August 30th, Mr. Ramos. And Mr. Ramos, I'll send you to a breakout room with your client.
Thank you, Judge. And may I be excused from there and let him know that he's done as well once we're...
You'll need to bring him back to the main room and we'll have to excuse him from this room.
Okay.
All right, so if you can let him know in Spanish that I'm going to send him to a breakout room, and I'll send him to breakout room number 2.
Okay. Eduardo, ahorita te va a salir algo para juntarte en otro cuarto, okay? Nos miramos ahí. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. You're excused unless you have someone else with us. Marcus, we're going to take up Newkirk. Just one moment, everyone. All right. We're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2019 CR 13070, State of Texas versus Dustin Newkirk. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Shannon Locke for Dustin Newkirk.
Right, and are you Dustin Newkirk?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Newkirk, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Newkirk, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Your Honor, I just want to make sure we're proceeding on the state jail felony. I'm not sure. I want to confirm that I couldn't really see.
What the court has is a possession less than a gram.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, we reviewed that.
All right, and counsel, are you waiving the reading of the indictment?
We are waiving. Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Newkirk, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right. To both state and defense, the court has the documents and it has Dustin Newkirk as the defendant's name, and then it has an AKA, but the AKA has been cut off on the court's document. So what should that state?
Yes, Judge, it should have Dustin Newkirk, DUSTON as an AKA.
Any objections to the court writing that on the document?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Newkirk and the document entitled Court Admonishments, you reviewed that with your attorney, you understood it, you electronically signed it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, did you understand what you're charged with is possession of a controlled substance, felony group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, did you understand? I'm sorry, Mr. Newkirk.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am, I fully understand that.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is currently competent and he was legally sane, Your Honor.
Mr. Newkirk, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, not at all, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with 663310. The state will take in consideration 664542, 665987, night mag number 585623, There's to be restitution and cause number 663310 to Victor Phillips and cause number 664542 to Megan, Megan, Erlene, Earlene, Louder, Lowder. There's to be no contact with Victor Phillips or Megan Louder, and there's $57 restitution to the San Antonio Police Department for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
There have been no such motions, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and the CATS 1 and 2. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am, I do understand.
Then to the offense is charged in the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
All right, off the record for a moment. Matthew Allen,
Yes,
you
Judge.
need to go back to the breakout room with Mr. Harris.
Yes, please.
All right, I'm going to send you back to breakout room number 3. Patrick Valentine, who are you here for?
Good morning, Judge. I'm here on behalf of Jason Goss for Noah Cruz to report that all discovery in the case we believe has been tendered.
All right, is it criminal trial division or family violence?
That's criminal trial.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4. And Mr. Harris, if you'll go back to breakout room number 3, please. We're back on the record. State, do you have any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge. The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Newkirk, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel for the state and the defense, again, the defendant's AKA is cut off on this document. Any objections to the court writing in the spelling of his name, AKA as Dustin, D-U-S-T-O-N, Newkirk? Any objections from the state?
No.
Any objections from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor, if we could.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we're just asking that the court follow the plea agreement. Mr. Newkirk is ready to start on his deferred adjudication. He is going to be successful on your deferred adjudication. He is currently engaged with treatment in the VA. He's doing counseling through them. And so we'd ask that that he be allowed to participate in that and continue to participate in that as a condition of his deferred.
All right, Mr. Newkirk, if
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
tested today, what are the results going to be? And before you answer, know that you will be drug tested today. So what are the results going to be?
They're going to be negative, ma'am. It's I haven't done drugs for a while. It's it was other acts that
When you say you haven't done drugs for a while, what do you mean?
in months, ma'am. It's been almost 3 months now, and I went to Warrior's Heart. I'm not sure if you've heard of that.
Yes, I have.
I have completed their program twice, and I am still in contact with Warrior's Heart. I go to meetings every Sunday with the alumni. It was just those other acts that were kind of getting me down the wrong path, and I was focused on the wrong things in life.
Do you have any children?
I do, ma'am.
What are their ages?
My son is 11.
And is he living with you?
No, ma'am. He lives in Colorado with his mother.
Do you have any contact with him?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I get to see him during the summer times, and then we alternate holidays.
Are you employed?
Currently, no, not right now, ma'am. I receive VA benefits, compensation. And with me working, we'll go into the Warrior's Heart and doing my VA counseling right now. I'm just kind of trying to keep my less stress off of me.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to a $1,000 fine. That will be probated. 3 years deferred adjudication. This will run concurrently with 663310. Take in consideration 664542, 665987, night mag number 585623. Restitution to Victor Phillips in 663310. Restitution to Megan Erlene Louder in 664542. CATS 1 and 2 program, 120 hours of community service restitution. 80 hours of that will be waived if you're vaccinated. And here's the thing, I want the record to be clear. I have to keep telling people this. I'm not forcing anyone to do a vaccine. You don't have to do the vaccine if you don't want to. However, if you've done the vaccine or you've actually taken it or going to take it or have taken it, then the court will waive 80 hours of community service restitution. Now, what do I mean take the vaccine? If it's the one-shot vaccination, then you have to provide proof of the one-shot vaccination. If it's the vaccination that requires 2 shots, then your 80 hours will not be waived until you provide proof that you've taken both shots. Parenting classes, proof of employment or VA benefits. Once you obtain employment, there's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits, 1 time per month. UA today. Regular UAs if negative. If positive, we'll start off with random UAs and we'll do outpatient treatment with probation if he is positive. Rebecca, is there anything else? I'm sorry, and there will be regular reporting by Zoom. If there's an issue with your Zoom, then you'll have to report in person. Rebecca, is there anything else that Mr. Newkirk needs from the court?
I'm not sure if you put on the record, no contact with Victor Phillips and Megan Louder and the 57 to SAPD.
I did not. Thank you very much. There's to be no contact with Victor Phillips, Megan Louder. And there's $57 to SAPD for testing. All right, Mr. Newkirk, is there anything else that you need from this court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am. Just with today, it's gonna be hard for me. I live in Seguin right now, and I'm currently trying to get a place in San Antonio. And so for me to get to San Antonio today would be a struggle. I am coming in tomorrow afternoon for one of my VA counselings.
Oh, probation will speak with you about that. I'm sure
Yes,
they
ma'am.
know places in Seguin where they can do a test.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right,
And
I'm
Your
sure you
Honor,
would-
I
Yes.
apologize, Your Honor. Could he also be allowed to travel for the purposes of seeing his 11-year-old?
All right. I'll put the defendant is allowed to follow all custody arrangements. And if there are any other issues that present itself because of that, just let the court know. Mr. Newkirk, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Newkirk, success on probation really depends on communication. So you need to make sure that you can communicate with probation. If there are issues, communicate with probation.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
going to send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Locke, once conditions are completed, your client can be excused from that breakout room.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
And then Ms. Charo, can you send back Rojas Mejia? He's L5. Thank you.
Yes, Judge.
All right. And then the brothers Manjares, let's take that up.
Well, I don't want to turn your Friday the 13th into a Monday the 13th.
Oh, you know what? Here's the thing. What I've discovered, you cannot be angry if you smile. Otherwise, it looks very weird. Like if you're angry and you're smiling. So the news that you want to give me, give it to me with a smile.
I'm giving it to you with a smile, Judge.
Come on, Chris.
Thank you, Ms. Davila.
It was.
So, yes,
So-
what is happening?
Vigorously conferred with Ms. Coles Davila, and Mr. Nesbitt, and Mr. Castagnan. And bottom line is Andre Manjares needs about 90 days to get his passport. And until then, he's subject to removal if we go forward with this. And so what I'm not saying that to reset it for 90 days if you don't feel comfortable resetting that long, but I'm just letting the court know that's how long it's probably going to take for him to actually get his passport.
All right, and so that is
that's
Andre Manjares.
correct.
All right, I don't know why people don't pick up the phone and call their state representative. Teresa Coles-Davila, here's a true story.
Yes, Judge.
I told my mom I was going to take her to Paris for her birthday. At first, she wasn't excited about it. She's like, no. So I was taking her and my 2 brothers. And I said, Mom, you need to get a passport. She's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I'm like, just get a passport. And so I got her to do it. I said, well, I guess I'm going by myself. And, I'm still her baby. She's like, no. So she was having trouble getting her passport. And then I'm like, oh, you know what, Mom, let's call your state representative. We call them. The passport comes in 2 weeks. My brothers were still waiting for their passports. And you know what my mom said? Well, we're just going to have to leave them. She was very ready to go to Paris then. So I don't know why people won't call their representatives to see if passports can be done sooner. I just saw on Facebook somebody lost their passport, which may be in different circumstances. They were able to get their passport in a week.
Yeah, it's easier for people who are actually born in the United States to get their passports, but it's a little trickier for people that are proving that they acquired citizenship by some other means.
Okay, now see how she gave me bad news and she smiled while she's doing it. So it's like our professor of Barton, where he would give you bad news, but he would do it with a smile. And then after you receive it and you walk away, you're like, wait a minute, that was horrible news.
Yeah.
So, Mr. actually attempted to file for the passport about a month ago, and then he received a response that there was some documentation that was missing. This was before Ms. Coles-Davila was even, on this matter. So now she's going to jump in and make sure that the package is sent correctly with the documentation that they need. And it's apparently they were proceeding under the wrong law. You can explain that a little bit better,
Yeah,
Teresa.
so there's several different sections of the law for which somebody can acquire citizenship or derive citizenship, and he falls under one very special section. And it looks like the Department of Justice didn't consider that section, and they need to. So I'm ready to file it for him next week. We just need to have a conversation.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. On the brothers Manjares, we're going to reset this for 30 days, and we're going to see where we are with everything.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Chaparro, what date should we come back?
We can do September 17th.
All right, we're going to come back on September 17th.
Okay,
And
that works for me.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, this is on Monjares, Andre, and then
Andre and Jose Manjares.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, September 17th at 9 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
And Ms. Davila, were you given a link by Ms. Ferguson?
I didn't get a link today. I got a meeting number and I input it into my Zoom.
Okay, did that come from Ms.?
No, it came from, to my legal assistant from Mr. It came from, I'm so sorry, Miss.
But it just came from one of the defense attorneys?
It came from Lupe.
Ah, okay. So to the attorneys on the brothers Manjares, the issue is that Ms. Davila, there's no way to put her in the system, even though she's appointed as immigration attorney. So each time you have these settings, could you make sure that you include Ms. Davila so that she'll get the Zoom link?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to come back on September 17th and see where we are.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you,
All
Judge.
right, and the person with the passport is which person, or is it both?
Andre Monjares.
All right, then the brothers Manjares are excused. We'll see you back on the 17th.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day.
All right. Ms. Davila, thanks for giving bad news with a smile.
You're welcome, Judge, anytime.
All right. All right, everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right, Patrick Valentine.
Judge, I misinformed you. This is not a CTD case. It is actually a family violence case.
All righty. So family violence, if you could go to breakout room with Patrick Valentine, and I will send him to breakout room number 5. All right, Raymond Martinez. All right, he is on the phone. Orlando Castellon. Now we're dealing with Mr. Montoya.
Yes, Judge.
Have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Nesbitt about Montoya?
I believe we just did the discovery acknowledgement, and I think we need to possibly confer.
All right, so I'll give you a date when you come back. I'm going to send you and Mr. Nesbitt to, if you could go to breakout room number 6, please, Mr. Castellon, and Mr. Nesbitt will meet you in 6. All right, Roland Garcia, we're waiting for your client to appear in the courtroom.
It's my understanding she is in the courtroom, Your Honor.
All right, what is your client's name? Nancy Gonzalez?
Nancy Gonzalez, Your Honor, yes.
All right, Deputy Laura, is there Nancy Gonzalez in the courtroom?
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
All right, could you have her come forward, please?
Now, go ahead and put your dog up there. Thank you.
And if I could have, who's the prosecutor on this, please? For sentencing? It's a possession case. Is there a prosecutor available?
Yes, I work with Mr. Morris, with Morris.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go on the record in 2021 CR 2979, State of Texas versus Nancy Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Roland Garcia.
All right, and are you Miss Nancy Gonzalez? I need you to speak.
Oh, sorry. Yes, ma'am.
All right, for the record, we're proceeding by video, but Miss Nancy Gonzalez is in the courtroom for sentencing. Any objections to us proceeding by video, state?
None, Judge.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Miss Gonzalez, any objections to us proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, we're here for sentencing. The court ordered that the defendant take a UA on August 9th. The court found that there was sufficient evidence to find her guilty of count number 2. The court found her guilty of count number 2. Ms. Gonzalez informed the court off the record in defense counsel's presence and state's presence that her UA was going to be or was positive for opiates. Is that correct, Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, can you raise your right hand for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. And for the record, Ms. Gonzalez was previously sworn in by the clerks, and she is still under oath. But the court has sworn her in out of the abundance of caution. So, Ms. Gonzalez, what is your drug of choice?
Heroin.
Okay. How often do you use heroin?
I would say like 3 times maybe a week or 2 times a week.
Okay. And do you stay by yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
I have a 22-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and 11-month.
I'm sorry, and what?
11-month, he's gonna be a year.
All right, so where are your children who are underage?
They're with their dads.
All right, and how many fathers are they?
There's 4 different dads.
All right, and I ask you this because I'm trying to figure out where the children are located and whether or not they're safe. So are their fathers drug users?
No, ma'am.
Is Child Protective Services involved in your life?
They were, but.
Did you relinquish your parental rights?
No, ma'am.
So how are they not involved in your life when you have an 11-month-old?
Because I don't have him.
No, I mean, usually, and I've done a lot of Child Protective Services cases, usually the issue is not whether you have them with you or not. The issue is, obviously, you have a substance abuse issue. You've had 11-month-olds, and were the 11-month-old born positive?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so that means that Child Protective Services should have been in your life, and they would not leave your life when you have the amount of children that you have, and they're being born positive for drugs. So did they have you terminate your parental rights or no?
Not that I know of, miss.
All right, when's the last time you had contact with your children?
I haven't seen my son, the littlest one, in like 3 or 4 months.
And what about the 11-month-old?
Yeah, he's the one. I haven't seen him in like 3 or 4 months. And my 10 and my 7-year-old, I saw them about 2 weeks ago.
And do you babysit your children?
No, I'm not allowed to.
All right,
I
so if you're,
have to be supervised.
all right, so that means that there are some issues. So here's the thing, Miss Nancy Gonzalez. Obviously, the state is recommending community supervision. I'm going to follow that agreement to give you community supervision. But in this court, I don't want someone on probation only for them to fail, right? I'm hoping that everyone that I place on probation is successful at it. If I didn't think someone could be successful at probation, I would say, no, I'm not going to follow this agreement. So you're going to have to make decisions, and those decisions are going to have to be to remain clean and sober.
Yes, ma'am.
Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, are you currently expecting?
No, ma'am.
All right. Are you planning on having more children?
No, ma'am.
All right. And mind you, I ask these questions so I will know what treatment is best for you. I'm not telling anyone, so the record is clear. I'm not telling anyone they should or should not have children. I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to tell people they should consider birth control. I'm not allowed to do any of that. So I'm just asking you these questions so I can figure out what would be the best placement for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the last date that you used heroin?
2 days ago.
Okay. Any questions from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions from the state?
Not at this time, Judge.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, it's obvious to the court that you need inpatient treatment. Is there anyone here who's going to object to me placing the defendant in lockdown for inpatient treatment?
Yes, Your Honor, let me address that issue. Based on my memory, the last conversation we had, the options that the judge, the court was exploring was either drug court or outpatient treatment, intensive outpatient treatment. And as a result, that's what I anticipated were going to be the options for sentencing today. And
what I can tell you, Mr. Garcia, is what the court is going to do is she's going to be going into custody, but it's to be interviewed by felony drug court. And what I can tell you is felony drug court will have her interviewed by next week, and I will know next week whether they are not accepting her in the program or not. Now, Ms. Gonzalez, if felony drug court accepts you into their program, felony drug court will make the decision on whether you should be an inpatient or outpatient. Normally, what felony drug court does, Mr. Garcia, if it's appropriate, they will try her on outpatient treatment. But Ms. Gonzalez, felony drug court is able to see you on a daily basis, right? I can see you on a daily basis as well, but felony drug court is a specialty court. They'll be able to address any issues that you have. And if we're able, which I know Rebecca will, because she's a great probation officer, once you sign the paperwork to be referred to felony drug court will be able to see you next week. So I'm going to sentence you to felony drug court. You're going to be taken into custody today. But I'm also, Mr. Garcia, to make sure that felony drug court has seen her, I'm going to recall it for Friday of next week to see what the outcome is of the evaluation from felony drug court. But felony drug court will see her next week. But I can't have someone out and about who's using heroin. And Ms. Gonzalez, here's the thing. You never know what heroin you're going to get, because people who are usually mixing the drug, they're not following FDA standards. Some of them are not chemists. You could end up dying from whatever you receive. And on top of that, I have the issue of, I know you say you have supervised visits with your children, but in my time with Child Protective Services, I've discovered that when relatives are the people who are in charge of children, like they've been placed with them, what ends up happening is sometimes relatives get a little bit lax and someone ends up with their children alone. And when I say alone, I mean, you know, a relative says, hey, I need to run to the grocery store right quick. Can you stay here and watch the children while I run to the grocery store? And something ends up happening. I don't want that to happen with you. I don't want you to suffer a drug overdose. So we're going to take you into custody today. I'm going to recall your case on Friday of next week to make sure that felony drug court has interviewed you. Okay? All right. So this is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, on August 9th, the court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court has found you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to 5 years in prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration grand jury numbers 751076, 751077, $57 restitution to SAPD, parenting classes, a referral to felony drug court, 100 hours of community service restitution, 80 hours will be waived if you've obtained the vaccine. And I want the record to be clear. I'm not forcing you to get the COVID vaccine, but if you decide to get the COVID vaccine, the court will waive 80 hours of your community service restitution. So what does that mean? If you take a vaccine that only requires one shot, once that one shot is completed and you provide proof to probation, 80 hours of your community service restitution hours will be waived. If you take the vaccine that requires 2 shots, after you receive the second shot and provided proof to probation, 80 hours of your community service restitution will be waived. Are you employed?
Well, I was supposed to start a new job.
All right. Doing what?
At a laundromat.
Okay. All right, there's going to be proof of employment within 15 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. How far did you go in school, Ms. Gonzalez?
To the 10th grade, miss.
All right, is there a reason why you didn't finish school?
Yes, I ended up dropping out to work to help my mom take care of my little brother and sister.
Okay. All right. So, Rebecca, I see you're back. It's going to be 5 years in prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. A $1,500 fine that will be probated. Restitution of $57 to San Antonio Police Department. Parenting classes. A referral to felony drug court. That referral will take place, the evaluation will take place while she's in custody. 100 hours of community service restitution. 80 hours of that will be waived if she has the vaccine. Proof of employment within 15 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or minors. And the court will waive the remaining 20 hours of community service restitution if she obtains her GED or is in some sort of trade school and she completes that. There will be weekly reporting by Zoom or in person. Field visits, random, 2 times per month. And the UA hotline. Rebecca, is there anything else that she requires?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Gonzalez, is there anything else you require from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, we're going to come back on Friday of next week. What date will that be? Ms. Chaparro?
August 20th, Judge.
All right, we're going to come back on August 20th, and we'll be back on that date to make sure that everything has worked out with felony drug court.
Judge, is there any way I could get into a breakout room so I could explain what happened?
Yes, yes, definitely. And Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
I expect felony drug court will interview you very quickly, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I want you to know my ruling is not done to hurt you, but both the state and your attorney are trying to help you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll go off the record. And to the courtroom, if you could go to breakout room number 1. And Rebecca, you're already in 1. And Roland, I will send you to 1.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Patrick Valentine or Noah Cruz.
Yes, Judge, I have conferred with Mr. Martin. He has conveyed an offer to us. And we need to discuss that with Mr. Cruz to let the court know if and how this will be disposed.
All right, and is your client on bond?
He is, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Noah Cruz, where are you?
Right here.
All right, and defense, have you received all the discovery?
I believe we have, Judge.
All right, Abigail, could I have a 30-day reset, please? On Noah Cruz? And it's a plea deadline date?
Understood.
You said a plea deadline, Judge?
Yes, 30 days.
We can do September, 1 second. We can leave it at September 17th.
All right, is that enough time for you, Mr. Valentine?
That should be sufficient. Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Cruz, your plea deadline date is September 17th. What that means is that the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after that date. The court will only accept pleas that are open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you and your client are excused, and Mr. Valentine, that'll be by Zoom as well.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great weekend.
All right, thank you, you too. Darrell Harris,
Yes, Your Honor.
which case do you have with Matthew Allen?
Cause number
David
21 CR 52255.
Oh, I just need the call. I just need the name.
Oh, Rocha.
All right, what is happening with David Rocha?
I'll let Mr. Allen speak. Court has
Judge,
been off the judge.
It's a little complicated. If we could go into a breakout room, if that's possible.
Yes.
With you, Judge.
But the offer has been tendered, correct?
Correct.
All right, everyone, I know it's been a long day, but keep patience in your pocket. And just remember, today is Friday. I'll be right back.
Hello, is anybody, can I speak to somebody real quick?
No, Mr. Garcia, give me a moment. Matthew and Mr. Harris, if you'll go back to breakout room number 3, please.
Roger that, Judge.
Yes, and everyone just give me a moment.
Haven't been invited. God damn, where's that? Yeah, but I guess I am. She didn't change it, but I didn't get the invitation to go and I can't seem to assign myself. Let me get the invite. Come on. Didn't get.
All right, Daryl, we were waiting for you. You did not
Yes.
join us.
I can't seem to assign myself, Judge, and I didn't get the invite from you.
Okay, all right. I had you as a co-host, but we're going to come back at
Yeah.
2.
I was trying to click it. It just wasn't moving me.
All right, no problem. Ms. Chaparro, on Mr. Rocha, he is L4. Could you raise your hand, Mr. Rocha? Matthew, is that your client?
Yes, Judge.
All right, we are going to come back at 2 on that case for a plea. And if you all will put in the chat box what your agreement is to Ms. Chaparro, so we can have that done.
Okay.
Thank you.
And where's Ms. Chaparro?
She's at the top of the screen.
I will take care of it, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Rocha, we're going to have you come back at 2 p.m.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Hopefully you have a great lunch.
Thank you.
All right, Eddie Garcia.
Hi, Judge.
Hi.
I've been in contact with Marcus chat box, and
okay, 2 o'clock.
The last update was that Mr. Garcia was pleading to the misdemeanor down in County Court 2. And the agreement was is that once he pleads to that, then this felony case will be dismissed. I don't know if Mr. Sanders can chime in right now.
Okay,
Judge,
so
that's correct.
yes. All right, so what we'll do is recall it for 2. Mr. Sanders, do you know it's being done today?
I was told that it was being done at the time that I called. They were in the middle. So as long as I just want to make sure that it gets completed.
All right, so Mr. Garcia, if it's completed, you won't have to come back at 2.
Okay.
And I'll sign whatever needs to be signed.
Okay.
Eddie, I'll send you an email.
Good morning,
Mitch.
I'll email you.
Okay, thank you, Marcus.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Garcia.
Judge. Have a great weekend.
I'm sorry, Eddie.
Nope, just one. All right, thank you. Just 1 minute, Mr. Bartlett. May I see Mr. McGarity? I'm trying to move the inmates that are in the box. Just give me a moment. Who is the attorney on Jose Garcia?
Judge, that was Tim Molina. I think we reset that case for September 10th.
All right, Mr. Garcia, your case has been reset for September 10th.
Do you know why I'm in the 187 court? Because I was supposed to be in 227. I've been here for 3 years, and this is my first time coming to court at all, period.
No, this is not your first time coming to court, but we'll bring you back on September 10th, okay? Thank you. That's 14M, Ms. Chaparro.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Raymond Martinez.
Judge, I've had a chance to confer with the state. Could I have a short reset so I can visit with my client about the offer as well as whether she wants to plead true or not true? I think it's
All
our
right,
first
and
time in here.
this is Michelle Harper.
Yeah, Harper, yes, Judge. I was trying to chat with her, but I don't think she knows how to do that. So I haven't had a chance to talk to her this morning.
Where's Michelle Harpel?
She's under Moto G stylist, Judge.
Okay, what are you anticipating happening with this motion to revoke? Did you confer with the state?
I did, Judge. Hunter and I did discuss it. I expect we're going to have a resolution one way or the other, either a plea of true or something else.
All right, Ms. Chaparro, on Harpel, can you recall this for next week, please?
Yes, Judge, we can do August 19th.
All right, we'll be back on August 19th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you and your client are excused.
Michelle, just call me at the office this afternoon, okay? Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Ed Bartholomew. Ed Bartholomew?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, what
All
is
right.
happening with Mr. McGarity?
We're going to set it for trial, Judge.
All right, are you staying on your client's case?
Yes,
because
ma'am.
You have wanted to
Yes,
withdraw?
ma'am. And the way things are shaping up, can I try it the first week in October?
No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna recall this for next week. And next week, we're gonna put on the record that you're withdrawing your motion to withdraw.
Right.
And then at that time, Ms. Ferguson will give you a trial date.
All right, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm not done. I also had a setting with Guadalupe Cedillo.
We're gonna take this one first.
Pardon?
So Mr. McGarity, Chaparro, what date can we give it for next week so that Norma can give them a trial date?
We can do August 19th as well.
All right, we're gonna come back on August 19th
Thank
to
you,
hear
Your
your
Honor.
motion to withdraw and for trial setting.
All right.
And that will be by Zoom. Mr. McGarity, you're excused. And then who else did you have?
I need to confer on Guadalupe Cedillo. I believe it's a family violence case, Your Honor.
All right, and after this, the court takes its break at 12:30, Mr. Bartholomew. And actually, is your client on bond or in custody?
He should be. I texted him, Your Honor. He should be online.
He's not here.
Well, all right. It
So
didn't-
what we'll do, we're gonna come back on 2 on your client because your client is not here.
That's fine, Judge. I'll keep pushing to get a hold of him. She didn't send it out till 11.
All right, I'll see you.
My apologies.
Well, you know, as I tell everyone, the reason why the court coordinator sends the link late is because we had an issue when we would send it beforehand with attorneys losing it in their email.
I understand.
All right, thank you. We'll see you
I'll
back
see
at
you
2.
too, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Orlando Castagnon on Montoya.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, what is happening with Montoya?
We have been in a process of negotiating. We've got a little bit of movement. I think that I need to confer the offer to my client, and he needs to, we need to, I guess, discuss what he wants to do with the case.
So the offer has been tendered?
Yes, Judge.
And discovery acknowledgement was also done, Judge.
Yep. We signed that today, Judge.
All right, I'll reset this for the first week in September.
Okay, Judge.
Judge, we can do September 3rd.
All right, September 3rd, the court will want to know whether or not your client is accepting a plea or not.
Okay, Judge.
All right, you are excused if you don't have anyone else with this.
No, Judge, y'all have a great weekend.
All right, thank you, you too.
Okay.
All right, everyone, I'm going to stop live stream. We're going to come